Greetings, greetings. Appreciate all the new people and the people that have been returning. I'm Kai. This is Kai NY7. Welcome. Live this morning, we have an arraignment of Rodney Hinton Jr. A briefing on that. He is the father that has been charged in the murder of a former chief deputy, Larry Henderson, and is followed uh, after he and his family watched a video of his teen son, Ryan Hinton, being gunned down by a police officer while they were in hot pursuit of chasing him as a fleeing suspect. He was gunned down and killed. As a reaction, he ended up killing a deputy, possibly. I'm going to just show a briefing so that everyone is aware and knows what exactly had happened. So we'll do that and then we'll get right into the arraignment. The reason for the arraignment today is the fact that now the death penalty is on the table. So that means he could possibly get the death penalty, which he would be sentenced to death with his sentence.
The man who hit and killed a Hamilton County deputy, according to police last week, indicted now on a new set, including aggravated murder.
So if he is convicted of those charges, he's facing the death penalty. WLWT News 5's Brian Hamrick was there today as the indictment was announced by the prosecutor. He joins us live to break down the very latest message from Hamilton County's prosecutor. Hi there, Brian.
Yeah, Cherie, well, this is a death penalty case. Rodney Hinton Jr. is facing 5 counts, including murder, aggravated murder, and felonious assault. Prosecutors say he intentionally ran down the deputy.
It was the defendant's specific purpose to kill a law enforcement officer. And he put many other people in danger. UC was having its commencement ceremony just feet away from where the deputy was standing. There were students who were dressed in their caps and gowns walking to commencement. Those plastic.
Hamilton County Prosecutor Connie Pilley showed a map and a timeline.
Would mean he could face the death penalty if convicted. Let's listen in to Judge Jody Lubers.
Here today because Mr. Hinton has been indicted by the grand jury on the two counts of aggravated murder with death penalty specifications, 1 count of murder, a specialty felony, and 2 counts of felonious assault. Mr. Hinton, if you want to be represented by an attorney but cannot afford one, I will appoint 2 attorneys who are certified by the Ohio Supreme Court to handle death penalty cases. If you hire your own attorney, he or she does not need to be death penalty certified. You can hire 1, 2, or as many lawyers as you want or can afford. If you are indigent and need an attorney appointed, I will select 2 attorneys that are certified by the Ohio Supreme Court. It is my understanding, sir, that you wish to hire your own attorney and in fact that you have retained Mr. Bennett to represent you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett, you are representing him, isn't that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much. I do need to tell you, Mr. Hinton, I do believe that you have qualified for public defender appointment. Is that correct, Mr. Kennedy?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in fact, was an affidavit prepared regarding his indigency?
Yes, when Mr. Hinton was in room A on the third, he did speak to qualify briefly, qualified him as being able to be appointed counsel.
Okay, and was that affidavit filed with the clerk's office or with the courts?
It stays with the original case file and all the paperwork for that, but yes, it is an affidavit that stays with the financial qualification form in the file, and I have provided that original to the court.
Okay, and thank you so much for that. That does not get filed with the clerk's office. Okay, just wanted to check and be sure. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that, being here. Okay, all right, so you have Mr. Bennett as your attorney. That's fine, we're good to go. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. And so what we will do is we will begin with the reading of the indictment. So, Ms. Sarah, if you would like to begin. First I will ask, has the defendant been served with a copy of the indictment?
Judge, he had been served with a copy of the indictment, and I have one over the indictment.
Okay, wonderful. And is counsel prepared to waive any defects in the service of the indictment?
Solely.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Ms. Sarah.
So this is case number B2502219. Rodney L. Hinton, you've been indicted with 2 counts, aggravated murder with specification, capital death penalty cases, 1 count murder, special felony, and 2 counts felonious assault. You've already stated that you received a copy of the indictment. How do you plead?
I will on behalf of Mr. Hinton. Not guilty. Excuse me.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Hinton, I need to go over some rights with you, okay? So, the first and the second count of the indictment are aggravated murder, and it is what is called a special felony, and it carries with it the possibility of the death penalty, which may be imposed, making this what we call a capital murder case. Although a capital murder case is procedurally much more complicated, most of the rights you have in a death penalty case are the same as any other type of criminal matter. The aggravated murder charge is also accompanied by 1 specification, which we will talk about in just a minute, okay? You are presumed to be innocent, which means the state of Ohio has to prove that you are guilty if they can. They do this by calling witnesses to the stand and presenting evidence. All the witnesses have to testify in your presence, and your attorney will have the right to cross-examine each of these witnesses to test their truthfulness, and this is the right of confrontation. You have the right to call witnesses also, and if there are any witnesses who will not come to court voluntarily, I will order them by court to court by way of subpoena, and this is the right of compulsory process. You have the right to have this case heard by a jury of 12 people. They would hear and decide the evidence. All 12 must be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt of your guilt in this case in order for you to be convicted. If the jury finds you guilty of the crime and the specification, they can recommend the imposition of a death penalty. They can also recommend one of the life sentences options, which I will talk about in just a minute. In the alternative, you have the right to waive a jury and have the case tried to a 3-judge panel. In this event, myself and 2 other judges would hear the case, decide the evidence, and if necessary, determine the sentence. The trial will be bifurcated, that is, divided into 2 parts. One is the trial phase with either the jury or the 3-judge panel, and the second is the sentencing phase, which would happen if you have a jury or a 3-judge panel. Either way, there's still 2 phases to the trial, okay? You understand? Okay. At the trial phase, the jury or the 3-judge panel will determine whether the state has proved beyond a reasonable doubt the crime of aggravated murder and whether the aggravated circumstances in the specification have been proven, also beyond a reasonable doubt. If you are found guilty of the principal offense, but not guilty of the specification, I will sentence you to one of the following sentences: life imprisonment without possibility of parole, life imprisonment without parole for 30 years, life imprisonment without parole for 25 years, or life imprisonment without parole for 20 years. If you are found guilty of the principal offense and the specification, we will move to a second phase of the trial known as the sentencing phase. The sentencing phase is presided over by the same jury or the 3-judge panel that heard the trial. At this phase, the state has the burden of proving that aggravating circumstances are sufficient to outweigh the factors in mitigation. The aggravating circumstance in this case is that the offense was committed and that the victim, Larry Henderson, was a law enforcement officer, and you had reasonable cause to know or knew he was a law enforcement officer, and either at the time he engaged in his duties or it was your specific purpose to kill a law enforcement officer. The prosecution has a burden of going forward with evidence that proves the aggravated circumstance. You have the burden of going forward with evidence of any factors in mitigation of the death penalty. Mitigating factors are those that lessen your moral culpability or diminish the appropriateness of the death penalty as a sentence. They can include your age, lack of prior criminal record, mental illness, etc. Just about anything can be a mitigating factor. The crime itself is not an aggravated circumstance, but it can be a mitigating factor depending upon the nature and the circumstance of the offense. You have the right to present evidence in the sentencing phase and have the right to compulsory process at this phase also. You have the right to remain silent at both the trial phase and the sentencing phase. This means no one can call you as a witness for the state. Whether or not you testify is up to you and your attorney. If you exercise your right to remain silent at the trial phase, the prosecutor is not allowed to comment on your silence, and I will instruct the jury not to hold your silence against you. At the sentencing phase, you can remain silent. You can testify under oath or make an unsworn statement. If you make an unsworn statement, you will not be subject to cross-examination. If the jury finds beyond a reasonable doubt the aggravating circumstances outweigh the mitigating factors, they will recommend a sentence of death. It is then incumbent upon me to make my own determination based upon a similar weighing process whether death is the appropriate sentence. If I agree with the jury's recommendation, I will impose the death penalty. If I do not agree with the jury's recommendation, I will impose a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, or life imprisonment without parole for 30, 25, or 20 years. If the jury does not find beyond a reasonable doubt the aggravating circumstance outweighs the factors in mitigation, then one of the life sentences will be imposed. I will not be permitted to impose the death penalty without the unanimous recommendation from the jury. The verdict in the sentencing phase does not necessarily have to be unanimous. A single juror may prevent a death penalty recommendation by finding that the aggravating circumstance in the case does not outweigh the mitigating factors. However, all the jurors must agree before they can recommend a death penalty. If the jury is deadlocked and cannot reach a verdict at the sentencing phase, one of the life sentences will be imposed. If the case is being tried to a 3-judge panel, a single judge can prevent the death penalty just like a juror can. If all 3 of the judges agree the mitigating circumstances outweigh the mitigating factors, the death penalty will be imposed. If the judges do not all agree on the death penalty, one of the life sentences will be imposed. A verdict resulting in the death penalty is automatically appealed to the Ohio Supreme Court. They will engage in the same weighing process as the jury and the judges to determine if the death penalty is appropriate. The indictment that you are facing also has additional charges besides the 2 aggravated murder charges. There is a count 3, which is a murder, which is a special felony, and that is a charge that carries 15 to life as a maximum penalty. There are also 2 felonious assault charges. Those are felonies of the first degree, and each one of those carries a possibility of 3 to 11 years at the Ohio Department of Corrections. Mr. Defendant, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
And are you under the influence of alcohol or any drugs?
No.
Are you taking any medications right now?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yes, he is taking medication.
What medications are you taking, sir?
Laxapro.
I'm sorry?
Laxapro.
I can't hear you.
Laxapro.
Maxiprone?
Laxapro.
Laxapro. And what is that for, sir?
Judge, I'm on advice. He's taking medication.
I'm just asking to make sure that he knows what he's doing today so that he's of clear mind. I ask all because he's entering his plea that he's not intoxicated, he's not loopy, he's not under the influence of any drugs. I'm not trying to pry into anything, sir, but just to make sure he knows what he's doing here today.
Y'all never show love to my channel for some reason because a lot of y'all are totally biased. Okay.
So
I'm
you
just
don't
giving
think
you
he's high on
information.
drugs, that
Thank
he's
you.
competent to stand here today? That's all I'm asking, Mr. Bennett.
I don't think, I think he understands the nature of the
So
procedure.
people's numbers,
Okay.
algorithm don't look right.
All right. Then
Right
the plea
away.
is not guilty and
My
will be
people should
entered
be
as
here,
such.
with or without
And
dog.
anything else from the state?
Nothing to say this time around. Jeff County Chief President turned our destination for state law.
All right, thank you so much. Anything else from you, Mr. Bennett?
No.
I know that it's been a no bond hearing has been set and heard by Judge Yates, and the bond is currently no bond. Okay, anything further from anyone? Okay, I have a couple other further things that I want to say. All right, the defendant will be held and continue to be held without bond. Okay, I have a few more rights that I need to go over with you, Mr. Hinton. You have the right to have your case heard within a speedy amount of time.
No, I won't leave.
Generally, a person charged with a crime has the right to have their case heard within 270 days of that arrest. This incident supposedly occurred on May 2nd of 2025, and as soon as your statutory trial date should be somewhere around February, the beginning of February of 2026. There is a separate statute that says you have the right to have your untried indictment against you to be tried within 180 days of making a demand that your case be brought to trial. You would have to make that demand directly to the court and send a copy to the prosecutor. If you have done that, then the untried indictment date would be on or about beginning of November of 2025. You also have a right to a speedy trial under the United States Constitution, but there is no math in the analysis of this right. Rather, there are a number of factors that the court must consider. I'm going to set this case for a scheduling conference in the next week. At that time, we're going to pick a trial date, and between now and then, the attorneys are going to talk. Your attorney is going to talk to you about whether or not you want to waive your right to a speedy trial or not. If you are not going to waive a speedy trial, then we need to figure out when the speedy trial date is and set that case appropriately. If you have any questions about what your speedy trial date is, you need to talk to your attorney and have them advise me on this issue.
Quick pause, intermission. Hey, yeah, I've been hearing RBR voice too, man. And I gotta imitate him. Yo, like you gotta keep these Nazis out of power. What's up, y'all? It's over 300 and something people in here. Probably reach 400. I'm talking to my peoples for a minute. It helps the algorithm when people hit like. I know that y'all have your own opinion. It doesn't matter. You know I do my damnedest to try to get stuff in here so that y'all can see and we can react in live time, whether it's delayed or not. All I ask is sometimes to hit the like button. Not every time you come in here, I don't hit like every time, but it makes no sense for my videos to have 20,000 of y'all sitting up in here, breathing on each other, breathing in my space, okay? But y'all can't even hit the like button for someone, okay? Y'all can't even do that. I appreciate subscribing, but I appreciate when you can speak your mind in here. Yes, my bro he should have been modded up. He modded up. And ain't no real rules. I like people to speak their minds. They can speak their minds. It's just don't be too disrespectful to where you want to inflict death on someone, something like that. Other than that, speak your minds. I know how a lot of y'all think anyway. All right. I've been doing this for a long time. This is just a new case with a new face. That's all. I ask y'all to hit the like button or you can see your way out. It doesn't make sense to have all these numbers and I'm sitting here sweating bullets because my equipment is hot. I'm hot. I'm trying to just get this information to y'all, but it doesn't make sense. People buy views. I don't want to buy views. That's dumb. Peace to you, Tangi Wilbert. I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you. Oh, I like how it looks on here too. I like that. It's pretty. So I'm gonna get right back into it. I'm just letting y'all know I have to say this because you're screwing with me now. So all I ask is leave. If you don't support me because I'm a brown person or whatever, or whatever your views are, this ain't the place for you anyway. Because I go in and I'll start reading your soul to you. You understand that? So if this too much for you, or it's too much to hit the like button for once, or just to say hi, this ain't the place for you. Straight up, it's not. I'm tired of it. I don't need the numbers like that. I want real ones in here. There's always less real ones than the fake ones. Come on. For some reason, that's how it's set up. Y'all bugging. I'll get right back to it. It was 400 people in here and I had 3 likes. Kick rocks. I don't need y'all in here. That's weird. And I'm tired of it. And it happens repeatedly. It's been going on for months. It's not just today. So yes, I have to say something on it. Come on, man. I know y'all mad. You don't get sex when you want it. You know, you don't feel attractive because you know, that's on y'all. I can help y'all with that too. If you really pay attention, I can help anybody. Come on. And I'm anti-racist over here, but I can help racists. I want y'all to see the light so we can have less corruption on all levels. Thank you, Mickey Sharp, for subscribing also. Peace to you. I keep it realer than any other channel on here. Try me out. Try me out sometime so I could prove it to you.
When the speedy trial date is and set that case appropriately. If you have any questions about what your speedy trial date is, you need to talk to your attorney and have them advise me on this issue. In addition to the scheduling conference next week, I anticipate there are going to be a number of pretrial hearings and conferences between now and the trial. Because this is a capital murder case, you are entitled to have an extraordinary level of due process. This necessitates that I check on things with you from time to time where ordinarily we wouldn't have talked between now and the trial. I also might ask you how you're being treated in the jail, how the food is, how things are and how you're getting along yourself and with your defense team and things like that. We are not going to discuss the merits of the case, your trial strategy, or anything of that nature. But if there is something going on with you that affects these proceedings, I'm going to want to know about that and what it is, okay? Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to hear about every little disagreement you have with your attorney, if there are any. I'm used to do this kind of work, and I know that from experience, sometimes there are disagreements and they're going to happen, so that's really pretty normal. But if there is a breakdown in communication with you and your attorney, or if no one's visiting you in the jail, or you're locked up, or following any witnesses or discovery, I'm going to want to know about that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to put down a preliminary case management order that will probably be next week after the pretrial. And so that's going to list the caption of the case, how things are going to proceed, when motions will be filed, how they should be captioned, who's going to use letters, numbers, a whole list of information about how I want this trial to proceed from both attorneys so there's no misunderstanding, so we're all on the same page and so that everything goes forward smoothly. At this next conference that we're going to have, the scheduling conference, I would like to discuss a tentative date for the state to provide initial discovery and a bill of particulars, procedure for the retention of experts by the defense, and to set that trial date. I would like to also talk about any competency issues or any sanity issues that might be raised, if any. I would also be in a position to pick a lot of the dates and the deadlines for everything that's going to happen in this case. I would also like the defendant to remain retained in the Claremont County Jail. Okay, so I'm going to put on an order setting the bond, keeping it, remaining at no bond. I'm going to set the next scheduling date. I would like to meet next week. Are you all available next Thursday? And that would be what day? I'm sorry? 22nd. May 22nd. Could everybody meet? Do we have could we meet at like, do you want to meet at 9 or maybe 11? What would be better for council? Okay, thank you. 11 o'clock. So May 22nd at 11 o'clock. And then I'm going to put on the order that the defendant remained housed at the Claremont County Jail. Is there anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Is there anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you all very much. We'll see you all next Thursday.
We were just hearing from Judge Jody Lubers. This was the hearing for Hinton Jr.
You're waiting
Absolutely.
time
So
right now. Is
another
that
not
correct,
guilty
Mr.
plea
Bennett?
on
Next
2
clerk
counts of
check.
aggravated
You're
murder
not
with
waiving
death
time?
penalty specification,
Okay, I do wanna
another count of
continue.
murder, 2 counts of felonious assault. He will stay in the Claremont County Jail until a sentencing hearing next week, and then potential trial in November or February.
Right, and she mentioned this is a capital murder case, so there will be what she called an extraordinary level of due process, so even more checking in than maybe a normal trial or a normal case would ensue. So we will be keeping you updated on all.
All right. Thanks, y'all. R.W. Miller. Hopefully I said that right. Thank you for subscribing. It'll show the new subscribers and those that do have private subscriptions, but you subscribe to my channel. You took a chance on my channel and I appreciate it. I'm just talking to those that don't participate on my channel. I've been doing my thing on here for 2 or 3 years now, but I'm increasing my content. I'm always upgrading. I'm looking for new ways to reach you all. It's not for me, it's for us. And I mostly have y'all on my mind when I come on here. I get anxious, so I'm sweating a lot, and I just be looking at the stuff I put in and how I try to get you guys stuff as quickly as possible. Just like right now, it's 500 people in here. The numbers aren't going to always be exact. When I get off of here, the views look good, but I have hardly any likes. Hardly any likes, and it takes a second just to click the like. The more you help the algorithm, the more I can do on here. I'm going to do the dang thing with or without y'all. Be clear. But it takes community, it takes networking to really grow in other areas too. So it would be appreciated if you just take a minute and you hit the like button sometimes. That's all I ask is sometimes here and there. You come see what a sister up to. I don't got to be your sister. I am a sister. Um, it just shows me too that there's so much progress that still needs to be made, how you're just judged, and it shows in the lack of support. If I wasn't to speak on it, it would probably just ooze out my pores with the sweat. So people just come in and they just try to get what they want. Like they come in 500 people. As soon as you start keeping it too real for them, they leave. That's y'all. That's y'all soul that's lost. It's not on me. So we just saw it wrap up where we have Rodney Hinton Jr., I'll recap now, stepped into the courtroom this morning. And the reason is he already was arraigned on for 4 different charges. It was felonious assault, murder charges, but that wasn't enough for Hamilton County. They added the death penalty to possible conviction if he gets convicted. That was added last week. So they picked Tuesdays for arraignment. So today, live, May 13th for 2025, he has been arraigned and let known that he will possibly be facing the death penalty. All right. And this is a huge deal because you could spend your life in prison or shorter than that, or you can have the death penalty. So in their state, death penalty is offered, and that's what they put on the table. I started off in the beginning showing the woman prosecutor that is putting this out there because she wants the death penalty on the on the table, and I'm gonna show that right now too.
Stolen car incident. It covered his arrival to the UC campus and when he hit Hamilton County Deputy Larry Henderson. Pilley said Hinton's family followed him the entire way.
So at the family, keep in mind, is watching all this happen. It's a clear view, straight as an arrow. He never veers off course. He never slows down. He aimed his vehicle toward the place of impact. He drove around the left side of those delineators, and he hit the deputy.
Yeah, the prosecutor said she has never seen anything like this, where, in her words, someone was hunted down and killed. Reporting live, Brian Hemrick, WLW.
I'm gonna ask y'all something. You ever heard a prosecutor say they never heard someone be gunned down and killed before? You're a liar. People gun people down on a daily basis, especially in America. What are you talking about? Other countries too, of course, but America's under a microscope right now. What we have is a division not only of law enforcement, but it is about race. In the chat, you all said we still don't even know the officer's name that killed the teen, who's Ryan Hinton. Hinton Jr.'s son. I'm gonna have to look into that too. 'Cause you're right. I remember just it was just so much going on at once. There's so many other news breaking through also, but I will definitely still keep an eye out for that information. Um, yeah, I just want to say that. So how many likes? I got 11 likes. So I'm gonna give y'all 11 more minutes. How about that? I'm gonna go by how many likes is in here. Shout out to the people that do subscribe, that do, I do value your opinions, even though, a lot of people come in here, they're racist and stuff. So they're gonna say whatever. I don't agree with some of the killing, but to be honest, a lot of us as humans believe in eye for an eye. You just don't want to admit it right now because this situation don't apply to you. You've been eye for an eye since you were a child. Something goes on, you jumped in it. Somebody bothered you, you took on. Somebody irked you, you probably laid them down. So stop acting like you guys are so perfect and innocent when you don't know what would rock your world and make you do something that usually a monster would do. I don't think that dad's a monster. I think he became one. That's what I saw. And I see the pain in him. He's painting it like, I'm tough. He's in pain. But I won't speak for him any further because I'm not him. All right? No, mentally ill people are racist people. That's why you guys are incompetent. You guys fail in most of what you do. You have to look at the law. The law says, yeah, he should stay in jail and all that. That's what the law would say. But how come when it's a different race of a person, they say, oh, it was a mental health thing. Oh, geez. Do you want some Burger King after you just killed people in the church? I know it seems like a hate crime. It seems like he was attacking Black people. I know it seems that way. Well, but you know what? It was some insanity. Some of y'all come into this world against certain groups of people. Some of y'all are taught to be against certain groups of people. I study you way more than you can ever study a Black person. You have too much studying to do. We were here first. Yes, absolutely. The Black community has to get it more together, but so does your communities. So does your communities. Yes, I could stand before the worst of crimes and pick through it and try to figure out why this person did that and try to get logic in there if there's logic to be found. But y'all don't understand that. Y'all like to just sit back and get results. None of y'all do the work. None of y'all put boots to the ground. None of y'all been in and out of community centers. None of y'all been in and out of school board meetings like me and others, trying to make a difference, trying to make a change. And to be honest, if you know someone political that does want to be heard, let me know. I want to see other people's beliefs. I want to hear more from y'all because it's going to take a lot of us to solve problems. We can't just keep being divided and pointing the finger at someone else. We cannot. And no, not every situation is racism, Iron Fist. I get that. But you have to see that this is divided on race also. It absolutely is. That's why you're getting a lot of white groups and they're starting to form again and they're against Black people. And when stuff happens and if it has a Black face to it, they start to, increase their Klan meetings, all that. I have proof. Go take a look at Georgia. They're ramping up the Klan meetings. So this for Hinton, I don't see it as him racially targeting the deputy. I think he was just targeting a deputy. I really don't know. I'm not in his head. But here, we're not going to just look at the surface of anything and think we got it going on and understand it. We have to look at all of it. And you have to open your minds and have understanding. If not, we're always going to get to this. There's going to be more cops getting laid out. I'm telling you right now. There's going to be more. You think this is it because Hinton got upset? That's what y'all think? Is that what y'all think? Because it's incorrect. You got it wrong. This is just the beginning. Actually, it's not the beginning because it's been going on. We're going to see more because people are upset. And normally you don't see backlash as much violence towards cops. But in early times in America, that's how gangs got started. White gangs. The Polish gang was the first gang in America. It was built to oppress back against the oppressor, which was authority. That's why I be in communities that don't like the police. And I don't like that they don't like the police because when you're in trouble, you got to call the police sometimes. But a lot of my people don't trust them because they know that they want us dead. Let's just be straight up. RBR taught us this as well. He didn't say all cops, but he said, there's certain individuals that are just driven to seek out death of black people. And some of y'all know y'all have it in your hearts. I don't know where exactly y'all get it from, but there's a hatred towards certain groups of people, and it has to stop. And we don't have to look at it just for this case. I have to speak on things while I at least have y'all attention, because all y'all attention has to be drawn to controversy for some reason. So it takes a controversial subject for me to at least let some air out of this balloon of hatred that you guys have floating over our heads. I don't live with hate. I honestly don't even believe in hate. But I understand it because I had to study it, because I can't just be a walking target as an ignorant woman of color. That would be crazy. That would be waiting for death. That would be waiting for death. So what it is we have police officers with badges and they abuse them, and we just see it constantly. And there's people that get angry and they want to retaliate. And yes, it's wrong to retaliate that kind of way. But I'm telling you, more is to come. Thank you. Where's the people that subscribe? Any of y'all got something to say? Anyone else that helps support my channel? Other than that, I don't care about you furry trolls. I'll give you a flea bath any day you come through. Clan meetings are not illegal, Mr. Diagostino. Tu hablo español? I speak Spanish. Raylon T just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Only brave ones that want the truth will engage. You understand? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Nope, black people can't be racist. Sorry. Look, somebody talking about Diddy. Y'all hate dark-skinned men too, huh? The darker they are, the more y'all probably want to get them, huh? But the crazy thing is y'all be wanting to taste. A lot of y'all would still party with Diddy. Y'all would still party with Diddy. Yeah, I know, because he know how to have a good time. That's a fact. Y'all be bored. Y'all be wanting to dance. Y'all scared to dance. Y'all scared of everything, but live with so much hate. Sometimes you got to put music on and relax. Relax your minds. Take a break, take a chill pill. Not a pill, but take a chill. Get back to it, but open your minds to other people and what's going on. Don't wait till death comes knocking at your door. All right? Because then it's too late. It's just too late. Too late. And I don't know why y'all trying to use the monkey thing. Monkeys are white too. There's white monkeys. There's white Caucasian dogs named after some of y'all. We happen to like monkeys. You can't use your racism in my chat room and think it's going to hurt somebody. Monkeys are the most, some of the most intelligent, what are they, animal? Yeah, primates. All right. So if you think my people come from monkeys, that's where everyone comes from. Everyone comes from monkeys. And if that's what you think, weirdo, you're a weirdo. But anyway, yeah, so I just put that out there. Plus, people, good people, sometimes breeze through the chat while they're still here, because what you see is you see the miserable people that come in. That's what they do. They come in to try to disrupt other people. And none of them are positive. They're negative. They have health problems. And if they don't, the health problems are coming. That's one of the effects of coming against righteous people like myself. They have to open their eyes, and sometimes it's too late and they're not to be saved. So I ain't here to save everybody nor enlighten everybody, just those that are willing. It has to be a willing thing. All right. Yeah. So yeah, it's all kind of monkeys, but everybody likes monkeys. That's what's so weird. You know what I mean? People try to say, oh, black people, oh, why don't you go eat some watermelon? Your boy Mark Twain actually has a quote that says, watermelon must be a fruit that the angels eat in heaven. Oh, some people say he's even racist. Oh, did you not know that? The most ignorant people on the planet are racist. The most ignorant people. So thanks, Google. Just like RBR said, thank you for sending them to my channel, I guess. They asses ain't getting no power, though. None. Iron Fist. They think they're superior. Well, you're not. All right. So that was it. We'll do a quick recap. And that's it for me. Y'all don't support nothing. Um, Actually, nah, because to be honest, all it is going to be some other stuff. Yeah, that's okay. Now I'm educated through experience, the streets, and through college in a great school system, which you're not a part of. You never grew up in New York school system. We have the best school system in the country. Yeah. So what I say to people too before I go, I have a phone number that you can call, and you can call in while I'm live if I put it in there, which I'm probably not. I usually drop a link sometimes once in a blue. So therefore you can come and tell me, because you're never going to tell me to my face, right? Because most of y'all are cowards. You have to travel in groups and packs like wolves that you come from. Not all white people. So I've dropped the link before. Y'all have nothing to say. I have a number. They have nothing to say. It's easy for them to just type, but they don't realize you can't type your way through life. You can't type your way through life. It's not going to work. It's never going to work like that. It's never going to work like that. Never, ever, 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 ever. Never, 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 never. So it is what it is. So yeah, we got the death penalty on the table. Um I came across someone's channel. Honestly, I'm not even sure whose it was. And you could tell they were racist. They were like, why is he alive? Why is this person alive? Why is this person alive? My question is, why do y'all question the life of a black person that does nothing wrong? In some of your racist minds, you're still asking, why are they alive? That's how deep racism goes. All right. All right, 17 likes, 3 more minutes then. um, yeah, but shout out to the real ones that are out there. Similar to myself, I won't compare you to me, but we have to be able to stand tall and speak the truth in the midst of the flames, in the midst of the fires that come towards us. Just like those hoses that hosed our people down during peaceful protests, just like the dogs that they come from that they unleashed on us during peaceful protests. You have to stand strong. Don't you dare hide and be afraid. Even if you don't agree with this man, most of us don't agree with what he did to the deputy, but we have an understanding of the rage that man had. And there is temporary insanity, all of those things, you know? But salute to those that stand strong in the face of racism as it comes, because it's going to keep coming. You have to stand strong. And if not, stand with somebody. You can't fall by the wayside, sirs and sisters and brothers. You cannot. You cannot. You understand me? You will be fine. They will not. They will never succeed. They never have succeeded against us. And there's white people, Asian, Hispanic, Pacific Islanders, my Indian people. A lot of us, some of us have mixed blood of a lot of different, okay? So somewhere along the line, there was some loving and screwing, all right? Salute to some of y'all too that are not of black, but you still said, hey, this is right and this is wrong. Because you know what? Some of the Klanmen and all of them, they come and get them first. They call them N-word lovers, okay? Just like somebody put in the chat. That N-word don't affect me. It has no power. I've explained that already. I don't give you cave bastards any power. You will never have power. That's why the sun is eating you alive now. I come from the people of the sun, sir, madam. You understand me? We don't go away. We don't evaporate. The less melanated do. So instead of y'all trying to figure out why your race is depleting, you're still fighting against the original people that could possibly help you. You understand me? You need to find out why your people are dying off. I've been looking into it myself. But no, y'all think the answer is getting rid of, you'll never get rid of black people. We're always overpopulating, we always will. Get a clue. I have all statistics from government sites and also from sites that they try to keep quiet because they got the truth in them. So you got the right one, but don't come at me wrong. Yeah, I didn't see it. All right, I'll put the number up. Thank you, bro. There it is. Because I know sometime when I put the link in, some people might not be able to connect right away. I think you might have to, you might just have to do a quick registry where you just give your email. So it should be something simple. If not, y'all could let me know. All right. Yeah, I don't care about debating, but I'm respectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on the menu, but I'm still respectful about it. You understand? Y'all want to burn me up and then eat me and stuff. Like, come on, man. I'm still respectful. That don't trigger disrespect to me. Are you crazy? You should want to lick though rather than to eat. I don't know what you're talking about. I taste good. I don't know what y'all taste like. Mm-mm. No, thank you. All right. Iron Fist says somebody wanted the number. It is right there. Was it 707 876 0247? We're on mute because I don't want them calling me N word as soon as we get started. Hello, 7.
Hi, yeah. I was wondering what you think about how much empathy, like you should like I guess what do you think about like convincing like racists like how to do that? I guess.
I'm trying to understand your question. You said, how should I go about trying to get empathy from racists?
No, I guess like the only way to like change a racist mind is like to talk to them. And I guess I feel like a certain level of empathy is required for that. I don't know. I don't know what you think about that.
That's interesting. Well, I don't know. It's gonna take it in the person because, to be honest, like when I first came on here, I didn't want to talk to nobody that wasn't black. I'm gonna be honest with you because I just feel like there's
Yeah.
always been a threat from like white people and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, as soon as I talk to them, they're gonna try to take over something. They're gonna try to attack me, and that is what happens. But I
Yeah.
do realize too that we all have to sit at the table and have a discussion, and we have to be able to do that. So what I do is I show comical things that are funny. Some have to do with racism, but then I show serious things that have to do with racism. And I open the door for anyone to call or hit a link. And I feel like that was a step forward. That's the best I can do, other than telling you that I'm a person of color. And this is some of what I've been through. This is what I see. And I want to know what y'all see. And I just ask
Yeah.
people to be respectful about it. That's all. But RBR, his name is Theron K. Cal. He passed away last August. And he had a great channel on here. He said, Kai, you got to listen to all sides of the story. And I'm like, well, what you mean? You keep saying everybody's lying, and I think they lying too. I don't want to hear what nobody else got to say. He said, if you don't listen, how you gonna know how somebody else feels then? And he was absolutely
There's
right.
that,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
there's that one black man that like changed or like got 60 Klan members to convert, I think. Like just by talking to them. I forgot his name. But
From the Black
I think
Panthers?
like yeah, there's no
Not them? Oh, because they did do something years ago, decades ago. They all got together, and it looked amazing. It looked amazing.
Daryl Davis.
Darrow.
Yeah. He convinced 200 Ku Klux Klan members to give up their robes from NPR. Yeah, I think there definitely is like a lack of listening. I think definitely on the right. I just like it from extremists. I'm wondering, what do you think about? Do you think anyone should say the N-word? Because I think there are a lot of white people, or there's just a lot of people like I don't know, like free speech. They say they're into free speech, and it's really they just want to. I don't know. They would want to be able to say it, and they see something. I don't know, like they see I don't know. They want to be able to say it because I don't know. They feel like it's just I don't know. It's like they. I don't know.
Real quick, can I get the last name of the man, Daryl, that you mentioned?
Daryl Davis.
Davis. Okay, I'm gonna keep him in my mind for try to find him later. Yeah, I spoke on this Sunday. I think it was Sunday. No, last week, Sunday. I personally said that I feel that the N word, belongs to white people, if anything. But that doesn't mean black people can't use it. We should be able to use what we want as well. But what we've done is,
Yeah.
like in the communities, like I love hip hop. I'm from New York and we all about hip hop, right? But as time went on, we'd be like, N-word this, and yeah, you know you my N-word. And that usually means you just my down ass black dude, my brother. But we've taken over the word and then we've kept it in a suitcase like, no, nobody else gets to say it. If you do, then we're gonna fight. And to me, I was like 6 years old when my little white neighbor, he's a neighbor and he was a child, and both his parents are white and they liked him playing with me because they know I look out for him and stuff. I think that's what they caught on to early. One time he looked at me and he didn't like the way the game was going, whatever we was playing, and he was like, nigger. And I was just like, wow, you look at me like that? I thought we was friends. Like, so I got my wake up call early. But growing up, I felt the same way black people feel like, hey, don't say that, don't use that. But to be honest, I react off of how my people will react because I feel like, oh, that's how they feel, that's how I should feel, or oh, that should include violence. And I'm like, I don't know. And I had to ask myself, if someone called me that to my face, would I want to punch them? No, I don't. I don't. Because you know what, caller? There's some people that use the N word that would never harm me physically. There's some people that use all kind of words, but that doesn't mean they're a racist. I'm more interested in the racist that wants me and mine's dead. Other than that, I could care less what you say out of your mouth. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I feel like the racists that would want you dead definitely like double down. I don't know. I guess I don't think people are born evil, but I think that I don't know. I think they double down, and like there must be some mental. I don't know. There must be some mental health stuff there too.
Yeah. How do you feel about the word? Like saying it to describe us, or in a song? Is there a difference to you?
I'm white. I don't say it. I don't think anyone should say it. I'm not gonna I wouldn't tell anyone like not to say it. This is like my own thing though, because I think it. I don't know. Like they. I feel like it is like. That's the word like white people were using when black people were enslaved. And I never really thought of like white people owning that word. And I think it makes sense that black people kind of like reclaimed it. But I don't know. I think I don't know. There's like a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of nuance, and the internet doesn't have a lot of nuance.
Okay. How do you feel about music that includes the N word, whether it's once or repeatedly? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about people that want to sing along that are not black?
Yeah, see, I think that's where like people, I don't know, like people on the left where I think it gets extreme, where maybe like I don't know, I think that's where like, more empathy should be shown towards that person, because it is like in the song, in that context. And if you're at like a concert and everyone is singing it, not that I would, but I guess I feel like if you don't let that person, say it, right, that was like singing along, then like there's always going to be, I don't know, there's always going to be a resentment, because I guess like I feel like people want other people's things. I don't know, like yeah, yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, you said, I noticed you said you don't use it. Me personally, I've
Yeah,
watched repeatedly white people get ridiculed because they use the N word during a show or something. And I'm like, oh, because they use the N word. Okay. But then my mind goes, okay, so what is part of the song? Like, you know what I mean? Because when we say it, it's more just, I don't know if we get too much of a thrill out of it too as black people because we're saying, I honestly don't know, but it takes away the vibe for me. But they can replace it with brother. You know what I mean? I replace it. And I did some, I challenged myself to be honest last year. I said, stop using the word. I don't use it like that either. But I told myself, so what? Your people say, hey, you can use the word, yeah, yeah. I'm not using it. You know why? Because it's getting
yeah,
ridiculous. It's getting weird. And I'm seeing people that want to sing along. There's non-black people that give a lot of financial support and physical support to hip hop, rap, the genre itself, the events that we have, the concerts, the videos, all of
yeah.
that. But yet there's one thing that's, hey, you guys go sit over there on this part, on this verse. That doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe it used to sort of because again, I'm going by the masses. But just because large groups of people feel some kind of way doesn't mean that I have to. I always look for logic in things, and is I'm not seeing the logic in it. So I
Yeah.
can't really agree with it. But I noticed though you did say, well, I don't use it and I wouldn't use it. If you could tell me why you don't or wouldn't use
Um,
it, or even in a song.
I think it is because it's like I think because of the history behind it, and I think I mean the history like still affects us today. I
Mhm.
I think yeah, like I don't know, yeah, people get weird about it. Like there are yeah, there's like just these people that like really like want to say the word like white people, and I mean I feel like a lot of races, Asian and uh, Mexican, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people like say it, and I guess they don't really. I feel like it should be. I guess I feel like we should like move on. Like it should be like everyone can say it or no one can say it. Um, but I guess even though it is a word that's reclaimed, I guess I don't really. I don't know. I just wouldn't use it.
All right, and that's understandable. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that because it seems like you've given it plenty of thought, you know, and that's why, you choose not to use it. You don't feel that, you don't feel that it's appropriate. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely understand that. Yeah, absolutely. Hmm.
You think? Um, you think this country is more sexist than it is racist?
That's a good question. I was about to say no, but damn, that's a good
Like
ass
with
question.
Kamala losing, like I know like Mexican men, like their vote increased by a lot, and I have friends that like work with blue collar workers, and I'm like that. Honestly, they're just dumb. They're dumb as shit, but and I think like they couldn't see a woman being a president in their eyes, and I think that is like that definitely is sexism.
Now, with that though, I probably would still have to say that I think racism would still supersede even over that because
Yeah.
people look at our race first over anything. It's not just a female male, and when I grew up, I looked into the differences in gender and how women were always kind of put as like second class, white women too, which is part of the reason that social services and things that are government assisted were given to white women first. Then people
Yeah.
felt like, oh, black women are dominating it. And it's like, nope, when you look at the statistics, no, black women don't dominate that. But these are things that were put into place specifically for white women to help them kind of catch up with things. Other women of color didn't really get it. We got it late.
Yeah.
So I still feel though that racism is always first. People can tell by my voice, the tone of voice, unless I'm like, yeah, so, but like I would have to do all that to possibly be a different race to trick somebody or to maybe get help from the police better because they don't tend to always help black people that fast. I've experienced that many times myself and just recently. Um,
Right.
so I do think that racism is first. And Biden admitted it too. He said that white nationalism is the biggest threat in America. When it comes to race, that usually comes first when it seems to be about anything. It seems like when it comes to dividing, white women are going to go with you, white men. That's one thing about white women. They know to get in line. They know that they want to follow behind their men and their culture. In the black community, we've been kind of splitting up. We have people on youtube.com calling themselves divestors. They're saying, hey, we're done with black men. We only want white men. Matter of fact, if you black, don't even come on my live stream. F out of here. I thought it was a joke.
These are like black women.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we have men that are coming against black women. They're black men. So it's just adding more divide to a already oppressed and divided group of people. So I do feel that racism has always been first. Racism is a disease that can be cured, but I don't think we'll ever cure it from everybody around the world. It's just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. it,
Yeah.
it doesn't. Sometimes I gotta laugh about it, even though it's serious. But that's what like helps keep me sane. Is kind of just like laughing some of it off and just keeping an understanding and staying aware and militant the way I've been taught.
Yeah. I know, like for interracial marriage rates, I like white people, like white men, white women, those like percentage of like them getting into interracial marriages is about the same. Hispanic, it's about the same. Asian women, apparently, like they have a lot more interracial marriages compared to Asian men, and also like black men have a lot more interracial marriages compared to black women. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question.
Yeah, because I see people like I don't know. Yeah, I see people get upset about that, and I think there are like these instances of like fetishes, but then I think then it kind of like a blanket is then thrown, and it's I don't know. It's kind of gross to me to think like, oh yeah, this is just your relationship is like just a fetish, and there's no love there, and like like we've already decided. I feel like that's I don't know. I feel like that viewpoint is like, to me, like that's an extremely right viewpoint, but then at the same time, it's also like, I feel like you go extremely left or you go extremely right, and then you kind of reach that same opinion, I guess, where I feel like they just like are against interracial marriages in general.
Now, with interracial marriages, though, for the record, they don't do very well. Interracial relationships, just period. They are the lowest rate of marriage and relationships that actually are successful. I feel the reasons are our frequencies are different. It's not just our race, our internal frequency is different, which has to just do with it's somewhat to do with our energies. We can share them. I do believe, though, that two people from different races can be together and love each other. But you have to make sure everything is in line. And like you said, people have fetishes. You got to make sure you're not just a fetish. Because if so, how long is this fetish going to last? You're going to have a forever fetish, you just want to feel what my hair texture feels like, and you want to smell it, and I want to smell your skin, weird stuff like that or whatever. It doesn't work. It doesn't last. I just ask that when people actually have a child through interracial relationships, to me, that's serious. And you have to make sure that child knows all of their culture. You can't be white and say, oh, we're just going to teach you the white way. You can't be black and just say, hey, my black dominates. This is what you need to know, blah, 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 blah. So it's like, just do that. Because what we have is we have mixed race people right here on youtube.com and probably other places. I don't go there because I ain't got time for their nonsense. I come from a multicultural background as well. I ain't got time for people to be on one side of the fence. One day you're black, one day you're white. I ain't got time for that. So I feel like you have to know where you come from, and you have to balance out these mixed children. If you're mixed, you're unbalanced. That's my view, and that's just how I feel about it. To stay balanced, you need to know who you are. Yes, mentally unbalanced. Not saying that they have a disorder where they, probably need to see someone, but there's an imbalance because you don't know who you are. Those that know who they are, they're balanced. They're usually balanced. You have to be a balanced individual. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I get what you mean. Like, yeah, like interracial children, yeah, they do struggle with like finding that identity. I don't know. I just like there isn't like I don't know, that identity is important, but I wonder if like the imbalance also stems from like society trying to force you to like find like to put yourself in a box almost, and like I don't know, I think they should be educated on both sides, but I think I think there are like people that do care about like I don't know, like interracial people, and they have their opinions, and like that affects like interracial people, and it's just like a cycle that I think needs to get broken.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know the way I look at interracial relationships, I do have a double standard with them. To be honest, like I know when I was younger, if I see a black man with a non-black woman, you're not one of my brothers. Like I already know that automatically. And you might say, but he's black. Like, does he have to be a certain complexion? Or no, that just means he decided to hunt down someone outside of his own race because he didn't want someone from his own race. And that's obvious.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at them. But as I've gotten older too, you can date who you want. It's just, I call them a serial interracial dater because that's someone that's set their mind on anything but their own. That's a disorder. It should be in the book.
Yeah.
It should be in a book of mental disorders along with LGBTQ AI. That doesn't mean I don't hate anyone. I just love the truth. And we wouldn't have so much mental instability. No, I don't. It's not that I don't support them. See, that's the thing too. Like they want support. They want to go to parade. I've been to events for LGBTQAI. I've dealt with police to make sure they were there because I worked with city government in New York before too. So I've done all these things. But my thing is having parades and we legalize marriage for y'all. I used to do marriage licenses and everything too. They're still not happy. You know why? Because there's something internal going on. It doesn't matter what they dress like. They're never going to fill that void until they go back and reach into that inner child that was hurt when they were just a child.
Yeah.
They all have the same story. They just need to tell it. They don't want to tell it. Some tell it. I've been around gay men that I'm very fond of, and they've admitted to me that there's an aura after they have sex with other men, and they want to get rid of that aura. They know deep down gay is not the way. They've told me this. I didn't tell them nothing. They had to open up to me. And I told them I love them no different. And I appreciate them being comfortable enough to come and talk to me about it. That's not something I could make up or come up with. That's something he feels inside of himself. And there's gay men on here that don't like other gay men. They don't like too many of them because they say they just be too much. They don't like the flamboyantness of it all. And they feel that their wires get crossed of communication because everyone wants to put on a show instead. So yeah, a lot of them are sick individuals and things like that. But do I care about them? Yeah, they're human beings. I just want them to just live in their truth. The truth doesn't mean run and hide. I know there's a girl I grew up with. When she came back, I seen her some years back, and she was like, "Kai, I married her. I married my girlfriend." Da, 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 da. And I was like, "Where'd y'all get married at? Because you can't get married in New York." And she was like, "They went to, I think it was Pennsylvania or Jersey. One of them had it first before New York accepted it, and they're miserable together." She was cheating on her. It's the same thing with heterosexual people, but honestly, it's worse. I have the statistics that most lesbians have the highest rate of domestic violence. So,
yeah, I think they have like the highest rated divorces, which I found out recently.
Absolutely.
Which I didn't really, which I guess thinking about it, like I could see that dynamic, but I just never like knew that before. I think there definitely is like, I think that like, kind of like, I don't know, your friend that said like, oh, I don't actually want to be gay. But I don't know, maybe they feel like they put their identity is like connected to them being gay, like, and
Well, he
maybe
said the
that's why.
feeling. He said honestly it was the feeling. Like, but what's
Yeah,
weird is if I was to sit with him today, he's got his eyes
yeah,
on men. Ooh, look at this one.
yeah.
Like, it's an insatiableness, though. They're chasing satisfaction that they're just not really going to get until or unless they actually say, hey, I need to change my lifestyle. Or I would suggest this because it's not easy to just say, oh, now I'm no longer a homosexual. It usually doesn't just work like that. I believe in being
Yeah.
celibate too. You know, people could try that out. I've done it. It absolutely changes my body, my mind, and my spirit. And it's tough
You said
sometimes too,
try
but
what?
it helps. It honestly does. People got
You
to
said
step
try what?
away. Being celibate,
Yeah.
celibacy. I
I
know
mean,
it's not
I
easy,
know.
but it changes things.
Yeah, like I know, like there are other species that are homosexuals, and like there's just I don't know what the word is. Yeah, but like there's like just homosexual relations. But I think there is like yeah, there is something else where like it definitely like isn't enough. Maybe I know like I don't know. Yeah, I think there is like I guess on the left I think there's a big thing where it's like if you don't agree with like one belief, then you kind of do get like kicked out of the group. Like I imagine if you went on Twitter and you said like, oh, the pride parades are kind of crazy. Everyone's getting naked. Like this should be family friendly, maybe. And you would upset like a lot of people, and I would say like a lot of them wouldn't listen to those, and just kind of like I don't know. They kind of it's an echo chamber, I guess.
Oh, it's like if I seem like I'm not in favor of gayness or the gay parade, is that what you said?
Um, I don't know. I don't know what I was saying. Um, yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I'm gonna go now, actually. But it was nice talking to you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. All right. So that was someone that called in, they expressed themselves. So that was good. Um, but yeah, I don't and it's not about hating or it's just I just like the truth and the statistics show the truth. I know people personally, LGBTQ, AI, things like that. And yeah, I mean it is what it is. It just really is what it is. The guys that cross dress and all that, some of them look fabulous. I don't gotta lie. They look great. Some of y'all fill out your dresses way better than I do. I'd be like, damn, who did your body? Bruh. But you got to be happy and proud of what you have. And that's what I've learned to do as a woman, as a female, and can't let anyone take anything away from that. I love myself. But I know too that in all honesty, all women magnify their flaws, and we just deal with it. We don't feel we got to do too much, but in today, the year 2025, there's people that they go under the surgeon. I'm not doing that. That's weird. I would have to convince myself enough why I'm doing it for me, when I know I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for someone else to maybe notice me more, because now I'm bigger, now I'm this, now I'm that. That would be about it. And to be honest, I don't want to, I wouldn't really want a partner in my life that is all about too much about the physical in that sense. And I've had guys call in before and they said, well, Kai, when it comes to large breasts, and certain things, some men are more in favor of that. They said, but it's not a requirement. And I like the way they put it. That was so well put. Men do have their preferences, but a lot of times it is not a requirement. So that's the difference. Yeah, so yeah, if you like to call, yeah, thank you, Iron Fist. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, anybody could call in. You see, he was a white male that called in. before I had a white male call in. I don't know if that was him again. I don't think so. He didn't say it was him. It's appreciated. We can have an open, honest conversation. We talked about everything from using the N word, which he prefers not to use. Um, he asked, do I feel like it could be used by white people or not? White people got the right to say whatever they want to say, like anybody else. I can't be no more honest than that. It would be weird to say, no, you can't use that word. I want to see more power in the communities through economics, financial power, not a word. I don't care about the N word. I care about more money coming into communities correctly and less guns. We always have more guns floating around than job opportunities. What is up with that? So that's why that N word, it doesn't have as much power for me. But if you're going to use it, it's just how are you using it? Singing along with a song that somebody else done wrote? You didn't write it. What's wrong with that? Now, throwing the N word to someone or throwing it at a child like the white woman did, now that's totally unacceptable because where's it coming from? I like people to let me know where they coming from and just be straight up with it. So whether you use the word or not, I'm going to sense where you're coming from and your intentions on me and mine. That's what's most important, not the words. People word salad on here all the time. They got some of y'all believing they attorneys. I know more of the law than your average attorney on here. People acting like doctors. I can heal you more than somebody you sitting there just letting them tell you something. They've never showed you their degrees. They've never shown you a plaque. They've never shown you anything that's legit, but you're willing to sit and just listen to them, donate, do all kind of stuff. But that's y'all. That's what's going to separate some of y'all and some of the racist and ignorant people from the real ones that come on my channel. And I appreciate every one of y'all. Anyone that is a new subscriber, I appreciate you. So you'll have some good things in store for y'all to come up. And over the weekend, I had issues with my music. I had some music to play for y'all too. So I like to set a nice vibe, some YouTube friendly music, So sometimes we could just, just chill. Sometimes you want to just have a mood set and chat. Sometimes there's topics like this that do need to be discussed because, this whole situation is disgusting. Ryan Hinton has lost his life. Then we got the father that may end up losing his life through the death penalty after he took the life of a former chief deputy. So when people say they don't believe in eye for an eye, you're a liar. You're a liar. Some of y'all don't believe in eye for an eye, but most people, most of us do. Okay. The death penalty wouldn't exist if you didn't believe in eye for an eye. That means, hey, you did what? Okay, the government gets to kill you. You did what to who? Okay, you get a choice now. We can inject you with lethal injection for your execution. We can have a whole bunch of people firing rifles at you, or you can sit in a chair, we'll electrocute you. So now we get our choices. It's sick. I never believed in the death penalty. It's not because it's him. There's plenty of other people that qualify for the death penalty, but part of it is sickening. Speaking of sick people, DeSantis, before I go, DeSantis, he is the governor of Florida. He is considering the death penalty in Florida for pedophiles. Um, and I do get why he's saying that too, because they can't be rehabilitated. Most of the time, they're not rehabilitated. And I honestly can't stand that fact because I always am optimistic of anyone's behavior. Like, you can get better. You don't have to do that anymore. Oh, please, we got to figure this out. But I've been studying them since college. Plus people like Alex from Predator Poachers, people like Gideon, people like he goes by the Big Bad Wolf. Tommy from Colorado Pet Patrol is on youtube.com. They show you too that people can be repetitive with it and it just has to get done. But depends on how you look at the death penalty too. We're divided with that as well, like many other things. 20 likes, yeah. All right, y'all. Yeah, I appreciate it. Who? I started to say, don't even put her name in my chat, bro, please, but you are right. Yeah, but we got to know the fake ones. There's people on here, they're just fake. They just want attention and they want it for the wrong reasons. That's why I barely the camera thing and all that don't hold nothing for me. But I do like to have eye to eye with people, so sometimes I do that. Now you good. You good. You good. I'm past that. Like last year or before that, oh my goodness, I would have been tight. But nah, we good. We good. We good. Cause she's not the worst person in the world either. She got her ways, but she all right. She all right. And she got a big love for RBR, like a lot of us. So, anybody that loved that man like we did, I respect it. So, but yeah, yeah. Yep. Just keep your eyes open, y'all. Appreciate it. Yeah, I guess nobody clicked the link, so I don't know who was asking for it, but they be scared, Iron Fist. They weird. They don't never have nothing to say. And that's the problem with people um that have like certain issues. They just weird. They weird. Just like with Trump. I can back Trump more than the average racist or the average person that don't like him half the time. It's because of certain goals that he has set and followed through on that I believe in as well. Some of them. But all right, y'all. Appreciate it. Appreciate the time. I'm going to let me remove the thing on there. Yeah. Yeah, so all right. So we got some decent comments in here. We got some people that was talking crazy, but I expect that because people are going crazy. You think about the world is kind of crazy right now, and the people in it, aren't helping. They not. So nothing surprises me. That's why when he first called, I was gonna mute it because I didn't know if he was gonna start saying something real crazy and obscene. But he did good. He did all right. So I just try to be prepared because you never know what to expect on these live streams. So but can't say I don't try. I put a phone number there. I do I put the link there too so that anybody can come through. That's right. All right, bro. So got Iron Fist in here was holding it down with me. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And everybody that did take the time and hit like, regardless to what, it's not a hateful channel. It's just some people live with hate in their hearts.
Kai NY007. Shout out EYNY007. Kai NY007. God damn, what was that? Is that a fly? Damn. So that's a moth. God damn it. Laughing my black butt, am I okay? Is your white butt okay?
Again, thanks for tuning in to Kai and Y7. I'll see y'all next time. This was some good exclusive content. We watched the second arraignment of Rodney Hinton Jr. So the death penalty is on the table. And I appreciate you all that did respectfully share your thoughts. And shout out to the caller that called in and we had a good, informative conversation. Thank you. I invite anyone to leave a comment after this live stream as well. Feel free to do so. You can speak openly on my channel. I just ask you to just be as respectful as you can. And I do understand that, things are going on in people's lives and things like that. So sometimes you can come here and vent, and all that. I understand. I understand it. All right. So y'all stay safe and be good. If you're going to be bad, be good at it. All right, y'all. Peace. Oh, real quick, for those that don't know, I talk about things that do with the community here on my channel, um, usually of melanated people, which I come from. I also cover other things too, but most of focus is on that. I do things that have to do with spirituality. I talk about things that have to do with us and our connecting or disconnect of energy. I talk about things that have to do with sexuality and how important intimacy is and can make or break people and understanding that. My astrals is when I talk about things that have to do with astronomy, anything space related, and how that ties into astrology as well. If you're interested in any of that, be glad to see you back at another time. Thank you. Peace.
Blasting my black butt, am I okay? If your